How do you define failure?
Failure is that blade that cuts through life experiences. When you look at a diamond, it's not just polished by any kind of a blade. It is the most thin, sharpest blade that only can cut a diamond or any substance or material or hard substance that you appreciate after the cut, how crystal clear. Certain things have to happen in life for you to develop a better perspective about who you are, what you're capable of. So you need that cut in life. You have to take it as a chiseling and a polishing. Without it, you are unpolished. The challenge with many people in this world, we are so critical in observing other people's performance and their success, but we don't know that those people bet on themselves. And how many of us, before we criticize the next person, can we bet on ourselves? So I took a bet on me. I said, I'm leaving SABC, and everybody was like,
I remember the moment.
It's the natural progression to say I'm going to Prime Media. I didn't leave at graveyard level. I left Prime.
Yeah.
I left Prime where the show I had was probably grossing the most. Yeah, at that time. And I remember that when I left, one of the gentlemen said to me, it's very cold outside. In no time, you'll be coming back here knocking. Sure. Think about your choice, because should you fail, we might not even take you back. That person was fired at the SABC in 2 years. All the interviews I was invited, everybody will want to poke me. So who made you resign? Why did you leave? Not a single time I spoke foul of that institution, because it's a public broadcast. You are SABC, I'm SABC. We are the custodians of that organization. Tomorrow morning you could be the CEO, I could be the CEO.
Guest today is the one and only Tbo Touch. You know him as the voice of the afternoon drive and the creative mind behind various business ventures. He's also a man who understands that every setback and public failure is just a setup for a comeback. Touch, you are here.
That is true.
Welcome to Cheers to Failure.
Thank you.
So,
what a bold title.
What made you say yes to talking about your failures? Because it's not a topic that a lot of people are comfortable to discuss.
It's the same philosophy behind having a scar on your body, that every time you look at it, you're just reminded of what you've been through, and you don't hide it anymore. You are comfortable to live with it because it's now a navigational tool of where you come from and where you're going.
Yeah.
We got to turn our scars into stars.
For sure.
That's why I'm happy with this conversation.
For sure. How do you define failure?
Failure is that blade that cuts through life experiences. When you look at a diamond, it's not just polished by any kind of a blade. It is the most thin, sharpest blade that only can cut a diamond or any substance or material or hard substance that you appreciate after the cut, how crystal clear. Certain things have to happen in life for you to develop a better perspective about who you are, what you're capable of. So you need that cut in life. You have to take it as a chiseling and a polishing. Without it, you are unpolished. You sound like a textbook. That's why when I go to seminars, and I can tell when people talk about 10 steps of this, 5 steps of that, you're just a walking textbook until you talk about your own experience and how you turned it towards your success.
Yeah. Growing up, what was failure at home?
I'm privileged to come from a family that gave me a wholesome experience as a child. I thought we were very rich when I was growing up, because my grandmother will always entertain my friends after school. My house was that pit stop for lunch and sausages, and everybody was like, we're going to Touch's house and we're having the oros with, it's a big deal to have cheese and polony coming from school. Yeah, it was
in one sandwich. You either
and 5 friends.
You had polony or you had cheese.
Yes,
you chose one.
And it was a bunch of friends, and that idea of being the child who everybody goes to for being replenished, it kind of creates this idea that you are capable of taking care of people around you. But I didn't know that was her expressing her compassion and teaching me lessons of sharing. It was later in life when she passed, I realized that, man, this woman actually shaped how I view my point of departure in everything I do. I don't calculate my balance sheet. I don't look at what I have, the tools that are available to fuel my vision. Because sometimes you're going to have a vision that's ridiculous. You don't have the instruments to bring it to fruition. You just need a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And people wait for the instruments, for the tools before they embark on that scary journey. I do the opposite. You know, I want to find out how deep is the water when I'm inside.
Yeah.
Because if you're standing out, you're not gonna jump.
Yeah.
And that has kind of built me to be so adaptive. And we're not born with the manual of how to parent, how to self-regulate. Nobody hands over that manual to you. Even in a job or in any position, it's your intuition, it's your foresight, your agility. You know, the 30th of July, the rand was 1782. After the tariffs now in August and moving beyond, it's different. So if you're in a space of international trade, it's not like certain things you're ready for.
Yeah.
And you got to be agile. And failure, or having PhD in failing, has enabled me to be one of the, I pivot like nobody.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
I generally think so. I pivot like nobody. I mean, I live in 2 continents.
I know, because of your family.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So given that you are the person who doesn't check if the water is good enough before you dive in, I can imagine you need a lot of people around you who will be aware that you're about to jump.
That is true.
Who will also be part of the rescue team should there be any rescuing to be done.
Yes.
Talk to me about the people that you have around you, where you seek guidance, where you take counsel, and I guess also the voices you would allow to tell you the truth.
Yes. I think one of in the hierarchy of people that speak sense to me or are able to reach me even in my deepest state is Bishop Noel Jones. He's my spiritual father. Most of my major decision of changing of career, of studying of a business, I run it by him. And I don't run it by him for approval. I just need somebody to determine my madness and tell me how crazy I am, because I don't have the luxury of people who are comfortable with being honest with me.
Why do you think that is?
I think I've built this thick, hard skin to just be so... I don't think anybody has what it takes to disrupt my sovereignty. I go... No, seriously.
No, I was actually thinking that would be the reason why.
Yes.
Because you so when I hear you, and I don't know, there probably is a billion things and decisions you've made that I don't know about.
Correct.
But when I hear your voice and how resolute you are, and actually how it's almost, you sound like, you come across like a person who will go where they are told very few people can go.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's not just in my professional space. I'm the same in my private space, you know. I've made certain decisions that even my 2 boys will wonder, where is Dad's thinking? One time I got called in my son's old school. Can I mention the school?
You can.
It was in Stain City. Beautiful school, great marketing, and they were the first students at inception. And there was something that I picked up, and it's a trend amongst a lot of Black that seek a certain status in society to say, you know, I've reached a certain level. And I think we interpret success with further away from Blackness, in a sense. You know, we always say, when this school is an amazing, prestigious institution, it has X amount, it only has 5 Blacks in the classroom. And you realize that some decisions you make are the vestiges of apartheid still eminent in your thinking, that you're not even conscious when you make decisions on behalf of the people under your care. So I went to school one time and I was invited to, no, I randomly just go for review. And I was having a conversation with some of the teachers, and one teacher said something, and it didn't sit well with me. And I came back and I said, I'm taking the boys out of this school. And I realized that they treat these boys or the kids with this soft approach in allowing them to be liberal. Kids must make their choices, and I don't think some of these institutions prepare kids for how cruel and militant the world is.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna raise leaders, you expect a certain kind of upbringing, certain kind of lessons in between the academic lessons they get from school. So I moved them to St. David's, and it was the best choice ever. And if you ask me, it was an overnight decision in the middle of the year, disrupting their whole learning system. And I make such I think I recover quick from my failures because I'm too decisive.
Okay.
What I find difficult is
Yeah.
taking too long to write off a bad debt. Because the longer you prolong and put it in suspense, it compounds in something bigger than the problem, and then it becomes a crisis.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to ask, in that moment of deciding to take the kids out of school,
Yeah.
what were the indicators to you that the decision is right?
So there will be moments I take them to their grandma, I take them to the township, and just leave them for a couple of hours, and they will feel, they call them blend in. And this is a fraction of my upbringing. And they couldn't blend in from just mingling with ordinary kids and go far and just go and play. I know things have changed and townships aren't as safe as they used to be, but so is the world.
Yeah.
People think corporate is easy or the world of capital is easy. It's harsh. You get bullied every day in business. Things change. There are a lot of you don't forecast certain catastrophes that happen in life. So if you are built, I feel like it takes a series of tough experiences to enable you to adapt anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
So when you go into a gated community, gated school, and everything is just this cocoon, and you just live in a world where you are in a bubble.
Yeah.
Later, life hits, and most of us don't know how to respond from that hit. So we take substances that put a lot of pain in suspense, because you don't know how to deal with the eye of a storm, bull's eye. And that is a result of many people failing or writing themselves off whenever they fail. I think the mental disposition of a person that can come or bounce back from a failure says a lot about how they dealt with just adolescence to adulthood to getting into res, surveying how you're going to maneuver in school, the choices of friends you have, and what if you are always second position? What if you are always secondary? Some people don't know how to live with all of that. And you find yourself, I know some people who are frustrated with being in a deputy role when they should be in the first role. Some people don't know how to be second and wait for the right time. They take that as rejection. They take that as I'm not good enough, and I learned that I can take any position. I can survive anywhere in the world because I started early. I felt the pain of being a maverick early in life. I felt the pain of, at 15, I knew that for me to achieve what I needed, I can't rely on an allowance. I had to be so entrepreneurial so early and lose a lot early and understand that it takes this mind to remake whatever I lose.
Yeah.
And therefore, none of what I lose define who I am.
Yeah. So how do you explain that decision then to the kids? Because I'm imagining, I mean, it's here you are making a decision
Yes.
for the children.
Right.
Because you have the wisdom of knowing
Yeah.
that the protection they have is not real.
Correct.
Then you've got to balance out what you think is right as a father.
Sure.
And what they believe is right or unfair as children.
You know, there are certain lessons that we need to trust our children's comprehension they will learn later in life, and not wait till they are late grown-ups or are adults. There are certain things you gotta trust in the fact that at 11 and 10, if you speak them and inculcate them early, it will germinate and they will later apply. I think what we do wrong, we undermine the ability of children to apply some of the deep lessons that we feel it's too early to have this kind of conversation with a
them,
child.
yeah. They're too young, they won't understand it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I remember one time driving my boys to school, and I told them about a very difficult experience I had when I was in high school, and the other little one started tearing up, and the mother was like, "Baby, that's a bit dark." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's important." And I told him when I started having these estate planning conversations, I'll show them and say, "Listen, this is what happens when somebody passes away.
Yeah.
His accounts get frozen. These are the two people you call. But if I happen to pass away by myself, you know, mom is there.
yeah.
But if mom and I happen to be in a plane crash, and this is what happens." And they were too young at that time. On their way to school, I was like, "This is what you guys are gonna do.
Yeah.
These are the family members that are gonna come in your space and try to sweet talk their way, manipulate things. You don't listen to this person, you listen to this person." They're like, "But Dad, where are you going?" And now it was time to get out the car. It's like, "Dad, are you going to come back and pick us up?" And I could see they're like, "Oh my goodness." But
beautiful.
it's a
It's
strength.
sad,
It's a
yeah.
strength to know how to behave when you get struck by anything in life. You got to
Yeah.
be prepared. We're not being apprehensive.
Yeah.
We acknowledge the inevitable applies to everybody.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about a failure that has taught you the most. I'm sure you have several.
Oh
in
my
your-
God, I have
in your
multiples.
library of failures.
I have multiple.
Just one that's taught you the most about what you are capable of.
Yeah,
And I guess about the leader
correct.
you are.
I have multiple, but I want to choose one that everybody can relate because it's a story that deserves chronicles of its own. You know,
Yeah.
when I'm ready to publish it. 2016, I'm frustrated working at the SABC, and I've always been a firm believer of putting your bet on yourself. The challenge with many people in this world, we are so critical in observing other people's performance and their success, but we don't know that those people bet on themselves. And how many of us, before we criticize the next person, can we bet on ourselves? So I took a bet on me. I said, "I'm leaving SABC," and everybody was like,
I remember the moment.
It's the natural progression to say I'm going to Prime Media.
Yeah.
I didn't leave at graveyard level. I left Prime.
Yeah.
I left Prime where the show I had was probably grossing the most. Yeah, at that time. So there was nothing from a point of performance that warranted my departure. It was me feeling I've reached my ceiling. And at that state, I said, "Look, I'm going to prove all this gospel I've been saying about who I am. It is true. I'm going to demonstrate that I am the man I think and value I am." So we go, put on, I had savings, man, that I had to just cash out, mobilized a friend abroad, said, "I need $1 million. This is what I want to do." I ended up getting $500,000. May God bless his soul. So we had to put some crazy money, and I said, "I want to be in the middle of Santon." The best building at that time, 96 Greyston Drive, 76 Greyston Drive, 6 Benmore Road.
Yeah.
Helipad, beautiful building. Put a radio station there. But the pattern of content consumption at that time was not at this level where people are easily burning data. happy to be on their phone. This is 10 years ago. Now you got to do a campaign on educating people how to consume radio on their phone.
Yeah.
Podcasting.
It wasn't a thing at all.
Excuse me. I looked at my ability to play the game.
Yeah.
I didn't look at my ability to build a team.
Sure.
So I'm wearing a great jersey. You are playing La Liga level because you hot. I mean, you getting calls from all stations to say, "Are you gonna come to us?
What would it take? Name your price."
Yeah, and the offers are so palatable at that time because you planned your life to have a good cushion of 6 months. And I remember that when I left, one of the gentlemen said to me, "It's very cold outside. In no time, you'll be coming back here knocking. Sure. Think about your choice because should you fail, we might not even take you back." That person was fired at the SABC in 2 years because I told him at that time that, you see, you have early torture or trauma, whatever it is. You projecting your inner turmoil when you limit the man I am. I'm not driven by the same kind of crude oil that drives you. We cut different. Anyway, fast forward, put lots of money on this property, and we build the radio station. And we have an amazing journey.
Sure.
But there isn't a model to sell the same way digital impressions, audience viewership. There hasn't been at that time a definitive methodology on how to rate audiences on digital, especially with audio. Then you go to all these clients, you have to educate them. But we are all at that time writing the script. We're putting the script for future methods of selling audiences, how to sell live reads, advertiser-funded programs, branded content, all of that. Everybody keeps saying, "Where do we find this channel? How do we download it?" It was a big thing to download an app then.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing, man, we're not going to win. Let's mount the biggest fight. Okay? I realized barrier to entry is the price of data. Go on a big campaign called Data Must Fall.
Okay.
And
I remember that.
It was successful.
Yeah.
Went to Parliament. But the challenge is, it was beyond the hashtag. I spent 880,000 on legal fees.
Sure.
How do you take Vodacom, MTN, Cell C? How do you take those guys to court? I remember the former Cell C CEO at that time saying, "Who's behind you?
Yeah.
You know, you're messing with the big boys. I hope you're aware."
Sure.
That,
like Stellenbosch is funding
yes.
you.
They're like, "This is a futile exercise and you're going to be written off in no time. No brand is going to want to touch you. And you're too young for this." And I'm like, okay, wow. Proceed, keep going. We get to Parliament. Compiled a very comprehensive argument at that time. I mean, we mounted, I have to acknowledge Gareth Cliff.
Yeah.
We mounted a strong fight. And I applaud his tenacity to fight the system at that time. And people thought we were crazy. And the fight was, for me, justified in the sense that it got the right ears.
Yeah.
Some people think you win battles on social media, but can you go to court and pay advocates to sit in and literally represent your thoughts?
And have an argument strong enough
You understand
to
what I'm saying?
warrant that conversation at that time.
100%. So we kept on going. Cut the long story short, data, dropped. That's fine. But now you have a battle of sustaining this business, especially when there are stakeholders who've put in money into it, and you are not able to commercialize it and commodify it, because in marketing, you know that term, first in, first out.
Yeah.
And you're struggling with how do you run a successful business that can last till the pivot happens, where digital ad spending is easily sellable.
Yeah.
It was just 2019 when I realized that this train is running out of steam. We have to pivot. And clients are slowly biting. As we established our footprint on the market, the tank gets empty because you are now spending 80% of your monthly expense. I remember one time our salaries was at 1.4 million a month, not operating expense. I'm talking about salaries.
Just salaries, yeah.
Correct.
And you've got legal fees
And you
at
got
the
legal
time
fees
as well.
So
yeah.
1.4 times 10 months to run it, you need about 13 bar.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable when 80% of your reserve is absorbed in salaries.
Yeah.
Anybody watching will tell you that's not a
definitely.
successful business model.
Definitely, yeah.
Now, you need to then put your pride aside and say, how best do we pivot? We went into production, started saying, look, let's create visual content because this audio is not picking up. The radio station digital is not picking up at this time. And thank God we shot a very successful movie as a production house, and we're slowly trying to pivot. COVID happens. And at the height of COVID, you start getting summons from everybody that you owe
At
money.
this point, how are you feeling about yourself?
At this point,
when you brush your teeth in the morning, are you like...
if I have 9 lives, I'm on my 8th. What people don't understand is we cannot look like our problems, even in our thinking. You can't allow the bulk of your problem dictate how you think, because you're forever going to be engulfed in an idea of, oh my goodness, I think I failed. I think when the storm is more severe, that's when new neurons start developing. Different brain waves and new cells are now starting to come up with a way of what is the next thrill. I can deal with any challenge in my life as long as I know there is a bigger thrill beyond this. I have to tell myself, I'm going through this because there's something bigger I have to be prepared for.
Yeah.
That journey was not expensive from just running a business. It was a legal, expensive exercise.
Yeah.
But it taught me something powerful. You invest in good lawyers and good accountants in business.
Do you invest before there's trouble?
Or
do you invest when there is trouble?
Remember, investment is not monetarily.
Yes.
Investment is relationship.
Relationships, yeah.
And one of the biggest assets I've always kept in my balance sheet
good lawyers
is the wealth of good people around me.
Okay. Yeah.
That's one thing I pride myself when I look at my achievements in life.
Yeah.
I can easily say I regard myself as one of the most connected person in the world. My degrees of power is inextricable to anybody.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world. And that had to come with people. Successful people they're not interested in your ambition. They're interested in the problems you've solved in your life. What have you overcome to qualify you to sustain a conversation with me? It's not worth sitting in front of anybody to hear how far they want to go in life, how big they're thinking. Tell me what's the worst crisis that I know people take pills and just write themselves off, that you had to smile when it hit you.
And what lessons did it give you? I think that's the richer conversation.
100%.
Yeah.
So you hear short-sighted people thinking, oh man, no, he's got backers in his life. The reason why he moves this way is people are backing. Not every drive is fueled by what you have. A lot of my drives are fueled by who I am. Don't give me 5 minutes of your time because I'll obliterate you. All I need is to get through the door.
Yes. Once you're inside, game over.
It's over.
Once you're inside, game over.
It's over. The shifts have changed.
Yeah.
I mean, the plates have changed. So it was important for me to reflect on that journey.
Yeah.
But to also pride myself that, okay, so I can lose 30 bar and still be sane? That young? Great.
Yeah.
And the people who were instrumental in making your dream come true are still there. They still trust in you. It's like fantastic. So you got to ensure whatever it is that you do, proper run an efficient accounting system. so you can explain.
Yeah.
This is what I've done. This is where we made the pivot. This is why we decided to go blue instead of red. You know, I appreciate some of the lessons I had to learn during Touch HD days to say, a business card does not pay for your golf of round.
Yeah.
It's the bank
Yeah.
business card. It can't pay
And the
for
money
my,
is not yours.
it's not yours. You know, I'm having an interesting conversation this morning with my accountant because I'm in the middle of this concert that I'm doing called the Replenishment Concert. And I'm saying to him, I need to buy LED screens because the guys who've been supplying my sound, I'm asking them to do something. But in the long run, if we own them, it reduces my invoice every year. I want to own my own LED screens.
Yeah.
And he says, okay, why buy something that you only use twice a year and rather rent it out? And I said to him, well, if there's big games, I can host friends and put it in a yard. It's like, but that's your personal use now.
Okay.
So it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I'm like, so this guy's telling me how I should use my money. I'm like, maybe there's a reason why my head is still straight because
You have people. Who
I
can
have
tell you
people like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that lesson is one of the most indelible. It left an indelible mark. I enjoy reflecting on that because today we're all enjoying how the digital landscape has shifted. Look at 2025. A lot of agencies have shifted their spend from traditional media
Of course,
to digital.
Don't even have to think about it.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But sacrificial lambs had to be there. And I regard myself as one of those sacrificial lambs to say, we had to pay the price.
Yeah. So how do you then have a conversation to get back to SABC?
Oh,
After the exit you'd had.
Yeah.
Fast forward you back.
I had every opportunity in my departure because management at the time, post my departure, kept on saying, yeah, you know, it's rough, it's cold out there. And at all the interviews I was invited, everybody will want to poke me. So who made you resign? Why did you leave? Not a single time I spoke foul of that institution because it's a public broadcast. You are SABC, I'm SABC. We are the custodians of that organization. Tomorrow morning you could be the CEO, I could be the CEO, you know, and I developed that early. And I knew dispensations of leadership always change. You get people who are very progressive. They're not your political appointees, so they understand the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And thank God at the time of my departure, things changed drastically.
Yeah.
And I received a call in the middle of COVID to say, we're looking at our numbers. We don't understand why you left. There's been a significant decline in the space you used to operate. So if you ever consider coming, because, hey, we're waking up to billboards saying, hey, things are rough for you.
Yeah.
So you might as well take this offer.
Yeah.
So the conversation starts in 2021. We don't agree.
Money-wise.
Money-wise.
Yeah.
And it's Feb. The fiscal starts April. I whispered to my family, I'm going back. We don't agree. And the thing about us, people like myself, we cash in the money that's not in the bank yet. You plan around future checks. You're like, okay, we are going to buy A, B, C, and D, but the money's not in the account.
In the account, yes,
the deal doesn't happen. 2021. June, July, we keep talking. So I go back in September, and all these times I'm having these meetings. Luckily, we're wearing masks. So one time I went to SABC disguising. I had this big afro with the mask because I didn't want it to leak that I'm talking with the SABC until we agree.
Yeah.
And I remember passing through the studios after I knew that this is never going to happen. And I said, I just want my last show, even if it's one day. I miss this thing already. I really do.
Yeah.
Because the way I left was quite, premature. I think there was no maturity in how they let me go, but it was the short-sightedness of the manager at that time. May God bless his soul.
Yeah.
Now, 2022 Jan, we revisit the conversation again. And I'm demonstrating from my experience of running a radio stations why there was a significant decline. Now, I sit with the same management and I'm saying to them, how about this? I'll work for free if I don't exceed this particular number. But anything in excess, I want 50-50.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So the slot was making under 100 million, which is bad at that time, but good for me. Because when I left, it was up way 200 million plus. And I'm aware there's been a significant shift with ad spending. So I'm not considering the macro dynamics around sales, audience pattern, ratings. I'm not even there. I haven't even got that information yet. So they say, are you sure you can reach this mark? I say, yeah. How? I said, but I can't give you my IP because we haven't signed. But I'll tell you.
Get me in, I'll show you.
Yeah, but I had to. So I did a template of a lot of unsold inventories.
Yeah.
I said, this is where you're losing money. You're not losing money because your rate card is low. You're losing money because of your clock, first of all. In an hour, you got X amount of ad breaks. There are certain things with your content. You can integrate commercials. I will give you a template of the show I will host. So I do 1 hour. I don't do the 3 hours. Say, this is how my hour will look.
Okay.
I will have 2 strong commodifiable features that will carry our audience. So we've got a term called QHM. It's a quarter hour maintenance. And how do I drive this 15-minute audience into the next 15 minutes? Because attention span is shrinking.
Yeah.
So I'm the king of cliffhangers. If you listen to me, I'll keep you on your toes.
Yes.
So I create that model and I show them. They're like, yo, now I know I've got the upper hand.
Yeah.
Because I've played my ace card, but they don't know that was my ace card. But I'm behaving like I still got aces in my hand, but I just played my ace card. If they say no and run with my ace card, they might execute it, but it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It needs me. The leadership at that time, I have to give credit to Mr. Matota, who was a CEO. And he was frank enough to say, I will be remiss if I did not act and just bring you with your terms. You got a deal.
Sure.
Welcome on board. My return starts making headlines, a whole lot of nonsense. Cut the long story short. Now I have to perform. Right?
Yeah.
We have a good, successful first year run. I remember in Feb, there was a team building exercise where they called February of 2023. Now I've had 10 months. You said you're coming back and you're going to hit these numbers. You got to think 6 years off air, you can be delusional and still think you have the currency as a brand to command the type of value you promised. I didn't doubt myself because it's not like I was dormant when I was off. Actually, I was more prominent.
And you were learning.
I was
through
learning.
all the experiments you were doing.
Exactly.
That you were literally.
And people are scared
doing
of.
your MBA to get
And people
back.
are scared of that. I think everybody needs to give themselves that opportunity to go into the wilderness like the prodigal son.
Yeah.
Make those choices and find a way to use all of those failing moments. Put them together as a catalyst to your success. Now, you got to understand, these are brands, household brands that have been on radio. You've been off. So you easily say, look, I'll take a loss if my name is not mentioned because I've been away for 6 years. There's a sense of psychological justification for not being on that list because you've been off air. And it's not fair to put me or to put for myself to expect to be amongst those names because they've been
in the
active.
game. Yeah.
Turns out after that survey from top to bottom, I think they had the top 20 commodifiable brands on radio. Yeah. And I happened to be number 1.
Sure.
And Dr. Tusum was number 2. There were 4 DJs from Metro on the top 20 and the rest were from other radio stations. And that for me, like I said, it's science get you there. You can quantify and give explanation to how you got there. I realized how hungry I was.
Yeah.
Had I not been in the wilderness, I don't
Yeah.
think I will appreciate that hunger.
Yeah.
I had to get out in the wilderness to come back with more vigor, to come back with more agility, and just demonstrate that this thing is within me.
It's in your blood.
It's in your blood, you know.
And the people that were naysayers then,
Yeah.
what are they saying to you in this moment?
You don't silence people. I think the most powerful silencer is demonstration of your work. You know, numbers never lie, and now nobody can ever contest when you say whatever you say about yourself. And it has to be backed by numbers. It has to be backed by science.
Yeah.
Because in your head, you know, you can say, I think I'm worth this. Everybody will always go for a top number in terms of their value. But when you sit in the negotiations, because we negotiate every year at SABC, you need these details. You need these kinds of variables to put together why you are arriving at this number.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I always say it's people who know they're not performing that they are intimidated when it's time for performance review. But some of us get excited on a performance review.
I'll bring my evidence.
You know, you get
for
chills.
this
You're like,
yeah,
it's time to be reviewed. I'm excited because you know you've been performing.
Yeah.
But it also takes a different pedigree of leadership to know how to appraise performance. Some people are envious even when you're bringing value in their space. They're like, they'll rather work with a B version of who you are than an A+ version because you are deemed as a threat.
So how do you deal with that, Touch? Because let me just, again, as an outsider, right? I'm not in your world.
Yeah.
I can imagine how there is a confidence that you have.
Yeah.
There is a knowing that you have.
Right.
There is a clarity with which you communicate what you know about you.
Right.
And what you believe you are.
For sure.
And I mean, as a woman, when I think about how, you know, humility is taught to us.
Right.
As, you know, whether you're a young girl, it's like, no, but this is what polite is for you. This is what humility is going to give you as non-Togozo. So how do you actually almost ignore or be blind to how people are seeing your confidence?
So here's an interesting part, and I've never shared this with anybody except my mom and the people that know, the senior people at SABC. I don't know how to deal with it, but the best way I deal with it is I walk away. I excuse myself. If I'm sitting across the table and I'm saying, this is what I believe resonates with me. This is how I value what I bring in. I gave myself enough time to demonstrate why I think I'm worth 10. I did not throw 10 without evidence that I'm worth 10. People start conversations first with thinking or exerting numbers without demonstrating that they can prove that they are worth such. I went to SABC in 2022. Successful year, 23. 24. There were things I wanted to do different.
Yeah.
And we weren't agreeing. Do you know that I resigned?
No. In 2024?
Yes. First time I say this.
Okay.
I
didn't know
resigned.
that.
The media didn't even, nobody knew. I resigned. I submitted my resignation. And I was, again, I can read the resignation letter to you. It was not hostile. It was, okay, since we're not matching creatively, let me remove myself from the scenario, because I'm not the type to say, I think I am confident with my thoughts and my creative ways, and it's either my way or your way. No. You don't think I'm justified in how I think? I'll walk away. So I submitted my resignation in December 2022. 24. Went to Australia because my family lives there. Applied myself and said, okay, 2025.
This is not a like, what do you call it, a gamble. Like, this is not, you're not calling bluff, or you are not
My resignation.
creating a situation that is not what you genuinely want.
No. I'm having a conversation with you to reflect on how much we need to trust ourselves, even if our ideas are borderline insane. You can't say you value yourself, but you're not prepared to walk away from anything that questions your character and your value. You know, it's Robert De Niro, I think, in the movie Heat, that says, never commit to anything that you can't walk away from in 30 seconds. I want to find the right economy of words. It's a powerful statement.
Yeah.
We overstay our visits in a lot of things in life. There was a meeting of minds, to cut a long story short, and I'm glad we were able to hear each other, where I came from. I was given an opportunity to do a presentation of why I'm adamant things have to happen a certain way.
Okay.
And I was well within the parameters of creative sanity
Yeah.
to say this will yield X. Let's put it to test. And that meeting of minds happened. I'm sorry for the people who had promised that slot. They, I don't know who it was, but the show,
And maybe it's good that you don't know, actually.
and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But the show happened.
Yeah.
Come April, I'm back on air. My mom is like, how? And then what happened? And, but it's important, even when you walk away out of anything, don't leave a distorted idea of who you are. Let people understand out of principle, this is where I stand, out of principle, not pride or ego. And I genuinely think if I'm not given opportunity to do this, I'm just a mannequin executing your thoughts.
Yeah.
But you want to review my performance on your thinking, your control, it's not going to work. Remember, we are personalities. I bring my personality on the platform. People invest in brands before they invest on the platform. You can take me to UJFM. You taking Tbo Touch to UJFM. The platform has never made the personality. People who are made by the platform, when the platform is no more, they become extinct. I was more vibrant in the 6 years off air than any other time. I made more money off air than any other time.
Yeah.
I acquired more assets. So there are things that need to happen in our life to push us to a point of a corner where the cushion of a salary is no more. The cushion of a guaranteed paycheck or certain guarantees are no longer, but you creating them.
So I want to ask you, as you get older, are there ways of making decisions maybe that you are thinking, sure, as I got older, I have kids that are getting older, a lifestyle that is getting more, needing more resources.
Right.
Your retirement, whatever retirement is to you, is looming.
Yeah.
So let me be more, maybe guarded, slightly slow, less tempered or heated or quick. Is there anything that you are adjusting given your maturity and the age?
You know what's interesting? I always thought it's safer to sprint certain races, but you understand that life is a marathon and it's not possible to sprint a marathon. But it's also not possible for somebody of my nature to move at a snail pace in situations where you need to slow down. Me slowing down is somebody else's peak performance. I can easily conclude as I reflect on my journey that my wins are extremely big, but my losses are detrimental. When I lose big. When I win, get out of here. Where is the balance in between that? I'm 44 years old. I've been privileged to have a mind of an 80-year-old and the wisdom of a 120-year-old person. I am. I think I'm 120 years old.
Yeah.
When I was 15, the best thing that happened in my life was to be afforded the opportunity to come to my senses that I'm not going to finish high school in this country. I'm leaving. And that set me I didn't realize it set me so far apart. And I looked at my son and I'm like, Rui, you are 14. Sure. I need to afford him. If he's going to be better than me, I need to show him the world from an aerial point of view. I said, we out of here. We moving to Australia.
Yeah.
Because I know what it meant for me to see the world different when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
It is most people take years to plan what I planned. It was a big choice executed too quick. And one of the best choices ever. Why I say so? This September, they're on holiday and his friends are in Germany. They're doing some program with his peers. Some of them are from Japan. Conversations are different. At 16, they can discuss tariffs. Where is AI heading? And I don't think I would have afforded him that when he was here. Now, what has slowed down in me is I'm at peace to sow and take time, even if I'm not there, to allow others to reap.
Okay.
I think my struggle in life, I've always wanted to sow and reap in the same lifetime. There are certain things now I've fully come to peace that I'm going to plant them, even if I'm not there to reap them. It is important that I plant 3 generations. And by saying so, some people don't even know about, you don't necessarily just need an RA. There are 5-year endowment plans that you can take. You can even take a lot of offshore retirement plans that pay in dollars. These are opportunities from estate planning. I have never been so conscious about estate planning like I am now.
Like right now,
10 years ago,
I
thought I was never, I'm like, I'm never going to die. So what has happened drastically in Touch's life, I've become very conservative on a lot of lifestyle inclinations.
Okay.
I used to feel every birthday I need to buy myself a new car. And I realized, like, this is nonsense. Let's take a different policy. Let's put a new investment. Every birthday, let's get into a different business. And you move different when you understand all of this is built on the backdrop of 55 million failures and 2 successful ideas. That's
Love
me.
that.
If I painted a canvas of who am I, I'm a canvas of 100 million failures marked in black. But you got to look for that blue dot. And there's 4 of them. But those blue 4 dots of success would have not materialized without the lessons of those 50 million black dots. So the more black dots we have, the more refined I get.
Love that.
The more powerful. I am of value because of what I can save you from.
Because some of us actually get, if we are wise enough, it is to seek understanding of the black dots. So that with the benefit of your failure is an insight for me.
100%.
So that I don't have to fall for the same trap. As we wrap up, I want you to talk to a young Tbo Touch who is wanting to achieve the level of success you have achieved, who is wanting to see life in the way that you see life, and who wants to influence their industry. What would be the 3 things you say they should know about failure so that they can give themselves grace?
We think our point of departure has anything with how we should value ourselves or how we might end up in this journey of success. I want that young man who comes from Sharpeville, where the horizon is not as colorful, where there might not be light at the end of the tunnel, to say that's not where you might be planted there, but that's not where you're going to blossom. You need to understand your point of departure in life, where you took off from. You could be from a town that has no resources, a town where even the municipality does not even function. Nothing inspires you when you look to your left, when you look to your right. It is important that you have that as your backdrop to drive you in being a citizen of this world and know you can dominate in the New York Cities and the Sydneys of this world. That young Tbo Touch needs to understand that he might not have a title deed in that township where he comes from, but there's a tower waiting to have Molefe and Sons in Los Angeles with his name on it. When where you come from, you don't even have a title deed of that apartheid house that was allocated to you. You owe yourself to put your family name in that tower. And the only way you're going to get there is understanding the very same people whose names are mentioned on the towers. They wear their pants 1 foot at a time, just like you and I. There's nothing special. They bleed like us. The only difference is they didn't get defined by their point of inception. They didn't get defined by everything that happened in their life that could have easily caused them to shut their blinds or to shut their eyes that sees beyond where they come from. And secondly, nobody owes you anything in this world. The world is built with people who are orchestrated to take from you. Maybe it is important to learn how to live, trust, put your trust in people who will break it. Those are some of the lessons you need to have qualifying yourself to stay at the top and at the helm of your performance. There is no such a thing as being on top of the industry. The industry is, you are the industry. I'm on top of the industry because I'm on top of myself. I don't benchmark success with somebody else, what they're doing. So when somebody say this industry is worth $1 billion or is worth 100 billion, I need to ask myself how much of that value chain I'm participating. I'm sitting here currently in 2025. We have the Rugby World Cup in Australia in 2027. After that is the Brisbane Olympics. The move I've made, I studied how much money the World Cup brings into any Japan and France. I developed the case study and I saw the numbers they generate. And I said, how do I get 2% of those hundreds of billions? How do we play in that space? It took me to move the comfort to say, we live now in Australia, but this decision was made in 2024. So to that young Tbo Touch, there are things that you need to know are going to happen in 5 years from now. Dedicate yourself in sowing in those things that are happening 5 years from now. Because the idea of living for low-hanging fruits, you end up you reap average results. If all you want is to secure the meal for tonight. I worked at SABC for 2 years without getting paid. That young Tbo Touch was 21, sorry. I wasn't getting paid. I didn't take a salary. But I knew I'm trying to get into the door. I'm trying to get my foot in. I just need an opportunity to switch on the mic. Society today has taught us to value instant gratification, to value what pays off now. Don't walk into a room for what you walk away with. Don't let the conversation be, what is the offer? What am I taking home? Because some of us, we need the experience more than we need the money. And I thought when I was told such, I'm like, this person is speaking from a point of privilege. No. Today, you'll hardly find young people who are prepared to say, I'll be the lighting technician of this podcast, because the conversations that I'm getting here are far more than my economics lecture. This is not textbook.
Yeah.
And the more experience, invest 5 years of before you settle in a job, of experience. Internship should not be a year. Give your time, give yourself to a lot of learning experiences before you settle in a job or a workplace.
Brilliant. I love that. I love that. Give yourself to a learning experience.
More.
And so 5 years out.
100%.
So that you know that when you start reaping, it's robust fruit and not low-hanging fruit.
Come on.
That is beautiful with Tbo Touch. That's cheers to failure. Thank you so much.
Thank
we
you
could have
for-
gone on for another 2 hours.
No.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for having the courage to put the right people and assemble a team that has been speaking on a subject that society deems it as we've stigmatized failure as something that it's not worth being vocal about. It's something to be shameful of. No, there wouldn't be room for testimonies if we don't talk about. Thank you.
If you've enjoyed this podcast, please won't you do me a favor? Click the subscribe button as well as the notifications button so you know when we've got new content on our YouTube channel. And share it with your friends, whoever you believe needs to know that failure doesn't mark the end, but is filled with beautiful, glorious lessons we all need to have. Thank you.